Hello, everyone. Larry Cocco, Deputy Fire Chief, Toronto Fire Services. I oversee the Community Risk Reduction or Fire Inspection and Prevention Division of Toronto Fire Services. Happy to join the Canadian Fire Alarm Association and provide this brief video along with my colleague, who's the Director of Fire and Life Safety from the City of Toronto. I understand you're taking this course in communication and report writing. And I think this is a great opportunity for each of you to professional development and learn new skills in your career. So first and foremost, I just want to cover off the importance of the work that you do every day. The Ontario Fire Code, which Toronto Fire Service has the authority having jurisdiction to enforce for the City of Toronto, the Ontario Fire Code is a piece of legislation that is regulation and an act. Many of the requirements of the code are not optional, they're a requirement under law. The owner is legally responsible to ensure that the requirements of the code are met. So all of you in your daily work, ensure that inspection, test, and maintenance is undertaken of the fire alarm system. And I just want to touch upon the importance of that work. The reason inspection, test, and maintenance is done, it's not because it's arbitrary, it's because it's a requirement under the regulation and the act. It's the law. And not only does the work have to be done as required under the code, on the legally required intervals, but it also has to be documented. I just want to impress upon each of you that the records that you do and you put together are so important to ensure that the system operates and it's able to operate as designed in the event of an emergency. I've been unfortunate to be involved in too many fatal fires over my career that I don't even want to discuss because each of them is a tragedy. But as a result of these tragedies, many fire code amendments have been undertaken due to loss of life. So the requirements under the fire code ensure that everyone in an occupied building in the event of emergency has proper egress, early notification, and the ability to get out and safely exit the building. So I just want to touch on a few things from a perspective of a technician. Toronto Fire Services, it's not optional for inspection staff to request records. The direction I've given to my entire team, who conducts an annual inspection of every residential high-rise in the City of Toronto, at least once a year, is records will be obtained. It's standard practice for us to ask for records for any inspection we undertake in the course of our duties. My team will examine the records for adequacy and to ensure that they meet the requirements of the inspection, test, and maintenance, and that the records are available. Each of those, if the records are not available or the records are not complete or misleading, are offenses under the PPA as a result of the fire code. So I want to impress upon the importance of accuracy of your records. And more importantly, when you sign a record, if you're not signing it yourself and you have your parent organization sign it on your behalf, I would highly recommend that before your signature is inserted on a record, that you validate and confirm that the actual record that you're testing is yours, is accurate and correct. Now, each of us in our industries play an important part for fire safety. You are helping the owners who are legally responsible to comply with the fire code that their inspection, test, and maintenance requirements are upheld. However, just because the code says the owner is ultimately responsible, I do want to impress upon each of you that there are certain circumstances that you can be held as the owner for the purposes of the legislation if you have care and control of the system that you're inspecting and are providing the document attesting that they meet the requirements of the various standards outlined in the code. So I want to press upon the importance of accuracy of records, ensuring that you follow the requirements of the code. And as professionals, it's your obligation to understand the requirements of the code and what sections of inspection, test, and maintenance and what components need to be done monthly, weekly, and annually, and what are the requirements for the testing. It is so important that the work that you do every day, because you ensure systems are functioning and operating, and at the end of the day, that ensures occupant and life safety. I want to thank each of you for your ongoing commitment to your profession and ensuring fire safety is part of your profession. We appreciate on Toronto Fire Services the work you do every day across the province. Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Mr. Ryan Duggan, as mentioned, the Director of Fire and Life Safety from the City of Toronto. Over to you, Ryan.
Well, thanks, Deputy Cocco. It's great to hear that perspective from you. And on behalf of Toronto Fire Service, Again, my name is Ryan Duggan. I'm the Director of Fire and Life Safety for the City of Toronto. We're a newly created division who has centralized care and control for all fire and life safety matters within the 2,500 properties that the City of Toronto owns. This includes everything from critical infrastructure of our Toronto water plants, pumping and wastewater treatment facilities, shelter support and housing facilities, as well everything from low-rise residential up to and including high-rise office space, and really all stops in between, including all of the emergency service buildings, including Toronto fire stations, police, and EMS facilities as well. We have a large portfolio and we have a lot of fire protection equipment. And unfortunately, you may be familiar with the Raising the Alarm report that was issued a number of years ago. The City of Toronto has been through the ringer, and we've developed the group I'm leading now to address those concerns and become an industry leader within the property maintenance world. Some of the major trends we've seen over the years as we've reviewed inspection, testing, and maintenance records on the fire alarm side of the house relate to battery calculations, smoke detector sensitivity, and duct smoke detector just testing, let alone sensitivity. And what is being asked for even more so now by the authority having jurisdiction is pressure differential. And we've worked with a number of both small and large multinational corporations that conduct ITM, and with varied results. Just because you work for a large or operation does not mean necessarily there's quality coming. And we found good, bad, and ugly reports and poorly documented inspection, testing, and maintenance coming from all sizes of organizations. As Deputy Chief Cocco alluded to, while you're inspecting, testing, and maintaining the systems, you are the owner of the system. The life safety of everyone in the building is in your hands as the technician. And if the system is not left in an operable condition and it's not reported properly, you could personally be liable as a technician. And, that applies to our staff that we have working in-house to conduct our ITM work as well. It's a big responsibility to conduct inspection, testing, and maintenance. And, I applaud the efforts that you put out every day to not only, maintain your accreditation and professional qualifications, but just to do your absolute best, because, it's hard to track the fires that don't happen or are prevented and detected early because of the good work you do inspecting and maintaining all of these fire protection systems. I just want to thank the CFAA for, bringing this to light, that, ITM qualifications and the report writing is such an important tool, not only for the authority having jurisdiction, but as the building owner and the property manager. We've got something reliable that we can ensure that the buildings are safe and the fire protection systems have been inspected, tested, and maintained properly. We all work in fire protection just in different ways. We might not drive a red truck around every day, but no matter what, we all save lives just in different ways. Thank you so much for having me today.